Today is Friday, Parashat Korach. At the beginning of this parasha, we see the horrible consequences of quarreling and conflict. We have Korach, who was the wealthiest man, even to a point where we have an expression in our community where we say this guy is so rich, we say he has Mammon Korach. He has as much money as Korach. We don't mention Bill Gates. He had incredibly amount of money, this Korach. So he had lots of wealth. He had an incredibly important function as a Levi. His function was to be one of those carrying the Aron Kodesh, the ark where the Ten Commandments were kept. You could say that's the most important part of the Mishkan, of the tabernacle that traveled with them in the desert, the place where the divine presence rested, where the Shekhinah was. In the Holy of Holies, the holiest part of the Mishkan was that Aron. So he was the wealthiest man. His function was the most important function in carrying the items of the Mishkan. He was the cousin of Moshe Rabbeinu, who was the leader and prophet of Am Yisrael. He was the cousin of Aaron Cohen, who was the high priest. Yet he set up this whole rebellion against Moshe Rabbeinu and this incredible mutiny. He brings people with him together. He even convinced the neighbors that he had on the south, because he was on the south, on the Mishkan, and next to him was Reuven. He convinced them to join in this mutiny against Moshe Rabbeinu, and his reason was jealousy and arrogance. Jealousy because a younger cousin, the son of a younger brother of his father, was given the function of being in charge of the family. He couldn't swallow that. That for him was something that he wanted, that power, he wanted that authority, he wanted that, not only the fact that he was very wealthy and he had a very important function of carrying the Aron Kodesh, he wanted also that position. That jealousy did not sit well with him. He did not have the faith and the understanding that it was an appointment from Hashem. All the appointments that Moshe Rabbeinu did and the appointments that we're told in the Torah, they are directed by Hashem. Hashem is the one that appoints through messengers people to be in charge of certain functions. Because of that lack of faith, that arrogance, and that jealousy, he was blinded into going and with a distorted approach, claiming to actually plead on behalf of the people. He said that the whole nation is holy. Why do we need somebody like Moshe Rabbeinu to be above us? And on the surface of it, it seems like he's actually pleading on behalf of the people. He's there for the interest of the masses, of the population, when actually all of it was a veil for a self-serving purpose. He wanted it all for himself. And if you pay attention, the first word in the parasha is Vaikah, and he took. Vaikah Korach, and Korach took. There are two directions. You can either take, and the other direction is to give. To be a civic leader, to be a leader of Am Yisrael. Moshe was the leader par excellence. He was all about giving. He was so dedicated, so committed. He was so much willing to sacrifice for his people. Here, Korach is the opposite. He was that position of a leader in order to take, not to give. He already had plenty, but he wanted more. And that was the beginning of his downfall, because when a person is arrogant, when he's jealous, when he gets involved in quarreling and conflict, the end result is destruction, and the end result is lack of blessing. The end result was he was swallowed up by the earth. And that's something to be aware and careful with. Any chance somebody offends you, somebody tells you something you didn't like, the best thing is not to get into a conflict and answer in kind and then to flare up a whole discord, that is not something that is conducive to good results. The more you can seek peace, the more you can pursue peace, the more you can accept what happens as something that comes from Hashem, accept it with emunah, with faith, and the more you do it along those lines, the more you'll merit blessings and shefa and abundance. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen, and Shabbat Shalom.